What do you think life is gonna be like afterward? Do you know what I mean?
I definitely think it'll be different. I think she'll continue to walk in her power as she always has.
Wicked co-stars Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are allegedly not speaking to each other at all.
Could Lena Waithe finally have exposed that Ariana and Cynthia's relationship on set was fake? Because I swear, that's the question people cannot stop asking right now. And let's be honest, I think a lot of you have been quietly wondering for a while now.
Exactly.
Because tell me this, when was the last time you saw Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo together? And I don't mean old Wicked promo clips, I mean recently. Exactly, because during the Wicked rollout, they were attached at the hip, holding hands in interviews, crying, and even staring at each other like they were soulmates. You just couldn't escape it, even if you wanted to. And now, nothing. It's like that entire dynamic just vanished. And that silence started raising eyebrows, especially after blind items began circulating claiming that Ariana was allegedly blaming Cythia for triggering her ED during the intense Wicked filming period. And then came the Oscars. Both of them were heavily tied to one of the biggest film rollouts of the year, yet neither of them got nominations people expected. And suddenly, the same behavior that was once called emotional and beautiful started being called cringe. And now, with Lena Waithe being closer to Cynthia than anyone else, don't be shocked if she reveals something without even meaning to.
You know, I've been kind of doing this in front of the public and kind of been,
Now, I feel like Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande need no introduction, especially after seeing how close they were these past few months.
Tell me.
Not the time, helicopter!
And let's not forget that moment during the Wicked press tour in Singapore when someone literally charged towards Ariana and Cynthia immediately stepped in and defended her, like instinctively, which made it feel real. It made it feel like this wasn't just co-workers doing press, it felt like two women who genuinely cared about each other. But now, things feel different because recent reports are saying that their relationship has shifted and that it's now purely professional. One source even claimed that their friendship was mostly for the public eye and that they were never best friends outside of the spotlight. And that lines up with what insiders are now saying behind the scenes because, according to them, they've started moving in completely different directions, especially when it comes to their careers. One source said that they've basically gone their separate ways and that the closeness people saw was more about the moment they were in, not something that lasted beyond it. At the same time, another source is saying it's not as dramatic as people think. They said Ariana and Cynthia still care about each other, but they're just not talking as much anymore, mainly because they're not promoting the film every single day like they were before. And honestly, that makes sense too, because once the Wicked promo tour ended, they naturally went back to their own lives, their own friends. But despite that, Ariana did recently show Cynthia some love publicly. She reposted a photo of Cythia in Dracula during her West End premiere and wrote, "Congratulations, my brilliant, unstoppable friend." And Cynthia reposted it right back saying, "Thank you, I love you." So clearly there is still something there. They might not be attached at the hip like they were during the Wicked rollout, but they're still celebrating each other. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of shocking to hear because these two never held back during the Wicked press tour. So was it all just part of the rollout? I mean, they are actresses. But if that's true, they fully sold it because even I believed it at times. Yes, some of the interactions were a little cringe. I'm not gonna pretend they weren't, but when you look past that, it felt like two women who had found comfort in each other. Like they were helping each other get through something intense. And you guys know I am always rooting for that.
Hey, we get to do popular. Can you believe that we're doing that? It's gonna be so great. That joy he wanted to infuse in every frame.
But there's also another claim floating around that made people look at their relationship very differently, because some reports and blind items have gone as far as suggesting that Cythia somehow caused Ariana to develop an eating disorder. And I need to be clear here, these are allegations and blind items, not confirmed facts. But the reason that people are even entertaining it is because of how Ariana looked during the Wicked promo period.
As of late, Ariana has been on a very noticeable weight loss journey, where you guys can see that she does look different.
And Cythia didn't escape those conversations either. Some blind items claimed that the two had developed what people were calling a competitive eating disorder during filming, basically suggesting that being around each other in that intense environment made things worse instead of better.
And also may have allegedly had a competitive ED, as they both looked unhealthy while filming the movie and doing press.
More recently, Ariana has started looking healthier again, especially at the Golden Globes. People noticed it right away. She brought back her signature high ponytail, and overall, she just looked more like herself again. If you compare the photos side by side, the difference is noticeable, which, if anything, is a good sign. But even with all of these rumors, I personally find it hard to believe that Cythia was responsible for Ariana's eating disorder. That is a serious claim, and eating disorders are complicated. They don't just appear overnight because of one person. And a lot of fans have pointed that out too. One comment I saw said, Ariana didn't develop an ED during Wicked. She has literally always struggled with anorexia. And that's important context, because while fans and blind items can speculate all day, the reality is we don't actually know what was happening behind closed doors. But that didn't stop people from taking things even further. At one point, the rumors weren't just about tension. People genuinely thought Ariana and Cynthia were dating. Yes, dating! Which, to be fair, both of them have been open about being curious and fluid in the past, so that only fueled the speculation more. But Cythia has finally addressed it. In a recent interview with Stylist magazine, she talked about the rumors and did not hold back. She said the speculation was strange, and she thinks that people simply didn't understand how two women could be that close without it being romantic. She literally said, I think people didn't understand how it was possible for two women to be friends, close, and not lovers. Meanwhile, Ariana has been in a relationship with Ethan Slater this whole time, and yes, we all know that that relationship came with its own wave of drama. People had a lot to say about how it started, especially with Ethan leaving his longtime partner. But Cynthia has also been in her own relationship. She's been with Lena Waithe for a few years now. They've kept things low-key, but Lena has shown up for Cynthia publicly, including supporting her at big events like the Oscars.
You know, I think Cynthia Erivo is a once-in-a-lifetime talent.
For sure.
We don't get to see that very often. You look at, she's a part of the legacy of Wizard of Oz and The Wiz. I think of Judy Garland, I think of Diana Ross, I think of Cynthia Erivo.
Now, I need to know what you guys think. Do you believe that their bond was genuine and just faded naturally once the promo ended? Or does it feel like something was being played up for the Wicked rollout, and now that it's over, there's nothing left to perform? Because the difference between those two things is huge. And also, where does Lena fit into all of this? Because people don't just randomly start questioning something like this unless they noticed a shift. So sound off in the comments down below. I want to know if you think this was real, exaggerated, or something else entirely. I'll catch y'all in the next video.